What just happened? XRP holders, brace yourselves. In this video, I'm giving you the good, the bad, and the ugly, because all three just slammed the markets in a single hour. That's right, in just 60 minutes we witnessed a cascade of events that shook the entire crypto landscape. The Fed made a move, Trump dropped a policy bomb, and the US government made a crypto-friendly statement that surprised almost everyone. The markets? Complete chaos, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde stuff. Let's break it all down. Right now, XRP is sitting around 38 cents, down about 1.4% on the day. But trust me, that number doesn't tell the full story. In a wild 45-minute window, XRP dumped nearly 4%, followed by a rapid snapback, and it wasn't just XRP. The whole crypto market, and even the stock market, reacted like a coiled spring. Let's start with the Federal. As expected, the Federal Reserve announced that it would leave interest rates unchanged. This marks the fifth consecutive meeting with no change. Now, that sounds uneventful, but the real impact came not from the decision itself, but from Fed Chair Jerome Powell's comments during the press conference that followed. Once Powell began speaking, the market immediately started to shift. His message? The economy is still running hot. Inflation remains somewhat elevated. The labor market is solid. Unemployment remains low. And here's the part that rattled investors. Based on current conditions, there's very little chance we'll see rate cuts anytime soon. Right after that, markets started dumping. According to CME data, the probability of zero rate cuts in 2025 jumped to 25% after Powell's speech. Meanwhile, the chances of two rate cuts dropped from 40% to 33%, and the odds of just one cut ticked up slightly to 27%. Translation? Rate cuts are being priced out fast. That sent a clear message. The Fed is not backing down. They're staying restrictive for longer. XRP felt it hard. Bitcoin dropped. Ethereum dropped. Even the S&P 500 took a hit. And remember, the market hates uncertainty. With Powell clearly signaling that the Fed won't be cutting anytime soon, traders panicked, especially those leveraged long, and liquidations followed. Now, let's talk about Trump. Just when the markets were already jittery, former President Donald Trump stepped in with an aggressive new trade policy push. He announced fresh tariffs, 40% on Brazilian imports, 50% on semi-finished copper, and 50% on other copper-intensive products. Why does that matter? Copper is used in everything: housing, electronics, EVs, and tariffs here hit global supply chains hard. But that's not all. Trump also declared BRICS to be a direct attack on the US dollar, saying he's initiating negotiations with India and Pakistan. He's making moves, offering South Korea a deal to reduce their 25% tariffs, clearly gearing up for more international pressure and reshuffling trade dynamics. This kind of policy rhetoric adds fuel to inflation concerns. More tariffs can drive prices higher. And guess what the Fed doesn't want right now? More inflation pressure. So when Trump lit that match, markets flared again. We saw another wave of volatility ripple through crypto and equities alike. And then, just as the chaos hit its peak, the US Treasury dropped a curveball no one saw coming. Treasury Secretary Bessent released a statement and video titled "Crypto, Welcome Home." Yes, the words "welcome home" were used in an official US government communication directed at crypto. That video marked a pivotal moment. It wasn't just symbolic. It reflected a coordinated policy shift. 1 year ago, crypto was on the outside, facing lawsuits, regulation by enforcement, and confusion across the board. Now, things are shifting fast. In response to the recent passage of the Genius Act, the Treasury, the White House, and Congress are now aligning on a framework that could finally provide regulatory clarity for the crypto market. Stuart Alderity, Ripple's chief legal officer, called the new White House report comprehensive, helpful, and direct. He highlighted that it urges Congress and federal agencies to take immediate action, from backing the Clarity Act to defining market structures and protecting consumers. He said it provides a blueprint for action. And I agree, this is a big deal. The report even refers to crypto as a grassroots revolution and emphasizes that America should aim to become the global capital for digital asset innovation. Compare that to previous administrations. Obama's era ignored it, and much of Trump's past tenure was skeptical or hostile toward crypto. Today's tone is completely different, and the market noticed. Now, while the recovery wasn't massive, the sell-off stopped in its tracks. The crypto community, especially XRP holders, took a collective breath. So where does that leave us? Let's take a closer look at some of the on-chain metrics and liquidation data. In the 24 hours following Powell's speech, we saw over $422 million in crypto liquidations. XRP lost nearly $14 million in long positions. Ethereum lost $60 million. Bitcoin dropped around $57 million. Solana and others like Bonk also took hits. Bonk dropped 8% and then rallied 10% just hours later. This kind of volatility shows how leveraged the market was heading into the Fed meeting. A lot of traders placed aggressive bets expecting rate cuts, or at least more dovish talk. Instead, they got the opposite, and the market flushed out a lot of over-leveraged positions. But here's what's important. This wasn't a full-blown crash. We didn't see a massive capitulation like in previous cycles. In fact, this was more like a quick shakeout. XRP's price held key support levels. 37 cents acted as a strong bounce point. And while it's not moonbound yet, the fundamentals remain strong. From a technical standpoint, the stochastic RSI is now reset, near oversold territory. That's often a sign of incoming momentum. And guess what? A large minting of USDT, Tether, occurred just a few days ago. Historically, when new USDT enters circulation, it tends to lead to market inflows and upward price action. No guarantees, but it's something to watch. So where do we go from here? The next data points to watch are the PCE inflation data and jobless claims. But nothing coming this week is as significant as the Fed meeting we just saw. The market now has room to breathe. That alone could allow for some recovery. And let's be clear, market sentiment is low right now. Traders are nervous. Confidence has been shaken. But sometimes, that's when opportunity appears. That if you're a long-term investor in XRP, you've probably seen this before. These cycles of fear and relief, they're normal. And if you believe in the long-term vision for XRP, Ripple, and the broader crypto ecosystem, then this is just another phase in the journey. Now, if you're a short-term trader, you need to be cautious. Volatility is still high. Liquidations can happen fast. If you're using leverage, please know the risks. I've made money with leverage, but I've also lost money. Be smart. Don't chase green candles and don't panic on red ones. If you want to practice, use a demo account. BTCC, a partner of the channel, offers one. You can start trading with fake money, test your strategy, and if you decide to deposit real funds later, there's a 10% bonus on deposits over $500. There's also a chance to earn up to $10,000 in bonuses. But again, read the fine print. Know the rules, and never invest what you can't afford to lose. And yes, if you use my link, I do earn a commission, so thank you for supporting the channel. Also, please be careful online. I will never contact you directly. If someone DMs you pretending to be me, asking you to send them crypto, it's a scam. Don't fall for it. In summary, we had a whirlwind of emotions and headlines today. The Fed showed its cards. Trump flexed with new tariffs. The US Treasury embraced crypto like never before, and XRP weathered the storm better than most expected. The market is still volatile, but now we enter a calmer stretch. This could be the foundation for the next leg up, or just the eye of the storm. Stay alert, stay educated, and stay ready. If you got value from this breakdown, smash that like button. Subscribe for more no-hype updates from Crypto Labs News. We bring you clarity in the chaos and help you stay ahead of the curve. And as I always say, let's make a lot of money.